Well, the Hunger March in which I was involved was in 1933, and that was during the period when the means test was having a serious effect on some of the people around me, and especially my own family. We were a big family, and my mother was politically interested in the Independent Labour Party and had some quite serious disagreements with introduction of the means test, because it seriously affected our family insofar as my brother, Charlie, who was unemployed from Singers. When the means test was introduced, he was given the handsome sum of 2 and 6 per week, which is now 12.5 pence.
I was in the jute trade from I was 12-year-old until 18. Then I was paid off. I was too old. That would be in 1926-7, just after the general strike. And I got paid off at 18 because they told me I was too old, which meant I had to get bigger wages. So they took in some other body for the job. I've been unemployed for the Hunger March, I'd say about 4 or 5 years, outside a little casual work now and again. I was living with my father and mother at the time, and I got half a crown a week to keep me because my father was working, and he was penalised for me being unemployed. And then I just kept going to meetings down the town on a Sunday, and just got real involved till the Hunger March came on. So that would be, it was that in 1930. When I went on the march, I was a member of the Communist Party and a member of the NUWM.
If you weren't working, or a member of the household wasn't working, you felt you were being a burden on the person who was working in the household. So a lot of young people, what they did is they attempted to find an address in some house where the person was working and the person was friendly with you. I mean, I experienced myself. I was supposed to be staying with a railwayman who were friends of ours, and that qualified me for 12 and 6 a week. Otherwise, I would get nothing. Yes. So they're making vicious attacks on the living standards of the people. The not genuinely seeking work clause that they took you before a tribunal, and you had to give all kinds of documentary evidence that you were really genuinely seeking work. And if you didn't convince them, you got nothing. I mean, myself, I used to walk from Maryhill to Singers in Clydebank quite regularly to try and obtain a job. That would be about 6 miles, right along the canal bank. You know, the canal goes through Maryhill and goes to Clydebank too. As a matter of fact, you never get inside the work because the commissioneers just poo-pooed you away when you got near the door.
I know there was a lot of unemployment, but I think I may well have been still at school when I started taking note of these kind of things. And the way I took note of them was, in the first instance, by verbally abusing the people that were taking part in the demonstrations, you know, advising them to go and work because, you know, they were and casting doubts on their parentage and that sort of thing. Oh, I said, I won't work, you lazy bastards, you see. And I was just a cheeky boy, you know, but as a result of this verbal assault, I began to get answers, you know. People began, one wee woman in particular began to explain to me that there were over 3 million of these alleged lazy bastards, and they couldn't all be lazy.
Only about 10% of the National Unemployed Workers Movement belonged to a political party. The vast majority of them were people who were unemployed, purely unemployed, who were in tremendous straits and wanted to try to get something done about the conditions we're in. And it was these sort of people who made up the Hunger March in total, practically, all the way down the country.